You are listening to episode 121 of the Master Your Mind, Business, and Life podcast. It's one of those rare Wednesdays when you get little old me all to yourself. I was originally going to aim to do an episode with Sherelle Turner today, and if you've been listening for a while, you know that Sherelle is not only my friend and mentor, she's also an angelic Reiki master, psychotherapist, and psychic medium. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it happen in time, so instead of pushing forward some episodes, which, no joke, I have about 9 in my queue with other guests, I thought I'd just show up and not only share something that hopefully you can implement into your life, but also a few other updates in general. First things first, I have been loving giving numerology reports and card readings. The feedback has let me know that you're loving them as well. If you are interested in learning about your personalized numerology, or you just want to check in and see what kind of message the universe has for you, head over to spiritually-seeking.com. Yes, there is a dash in between them both, and you can order your personalized numerology report, a card reading, or whatever else you feel guided to. I also want to share a quick review with you that was left on Apple Podcasts. Y'all know I love seeing your reviews. Be sure to leave one on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or Stitcher for your chance to have your review featured. This week's review comes from IV_Ali H, and it reads, "Love the topics that Lauren explores on this podcast. Her guests are so inspirational and always leave me with great ideas to apply in my life." Thank you so much for those sweet words and for taking the time to leave a review, IV H. I love knowing that you tune in and turn it up. Speaking of which, I think it's time we just go ahead and bring you this week's episode. You know what to do. Tune in, turn it up, let's go.
You're listening to Master Your Mind, Business, and Life. Conversations with everyday world shifters, truth seekers, and rule breakers. Here's your host, Lauren Smith.
Hey everyone, it's Lauren Smith. Welcome back to another episode. I already mentioned that it's one of those rare Wednesdays with no guest, just me. But if you're listening to this episode on launch day, the next week is the first week of June, and I am pumped to bring you a month-long series of updated energy forecasts, much like the ones we had back in January. The energy in 2020 has been, well, I think we can sum it up as hard. The past few weeks of May, we've had a few planets go into retrograde, and with the pandemic and just all of the other things going on, it's been a lot. And in the midst of all of this, I know it's forcing a lot of people to go in. Not just physically within your home. I'm talking about going within and reflecting on a whole lot of everything. Relationships, finances, jobs, parenting styles, schools, political opinions. I mean, even just listing all of that, I feel like we need to take a deep breath in, hold it, and release. Now that we've taken a mindful moment and really we just stopped and we were real about life, I say we keep on this flow about being real about life. There's been something that I've wanted to share with more people for a while. I wasn't really sure how or when or whatever other excuse I was feeding myself for not sharing it. This is actually something that Sherelle shared with me about a year and a half ago. I've shared it with both men and women alike. They've all claimed to have had these aha moments, and as many of them as I have. The exercise itself is about getting clear on your beliefs. Before you get on your soapbox and you tell me you are 100% clear on all of your beliefs, I want to make sure you've done that inner work first. Also, I want to make sure that you've actually taken the time to sit with yourself and make sure you are 100% clear. Oftentimes, our beliefs are shaped by our experiences, but also past events, knowledge that we've gained throughout our life, our environment. I mean, seriously, we even have beliefs based off of things that we've seen in movies or TV. We have beliefs about money. We have beliefs about creation. We have beliefs about relationships. We have beliefs about education, about parenting. The list just goes on and on. But here's the thing about beliefs. While we may have some core beliefs that we don't want to change, we're also full of beliefs that either aren't full of fact or really don't elevate us higher. These are the beliefs that we should be addressing, right? The ones that have a deeper layer to them, the ones that are often driven by fear or insecurity. These are what we call limiting beliefs. They simply limit us. Fortunately for us, because we can control, shift, and shape our thoughts, we can also do the same with our beliefs. So Sherrill has been mentoring me for, I guess, about 4 years now, and I get tasked with various exercises that aid in my personal rapid transformation. This particular exercise came up when we were discussing relationships and beliefs surrounding men within relationships. But I've used the same outlined exercise to also address my beliefs about money, as well as limiting beliefs about myself and my identity. So the exercise can be altered to fit anything you're working on, but for the purpose of this exercise, and just to make it easy on me, I'm going to use it in a relationship setting. Okay, are you ready to get hit with this exercise? Let's go. So part 1, you have to write down all of your positive beliefs about men or women, whoever you're focusing on in this moment. Super simple. Just start with, I believe a man/woman should, and then whatever follows it. Again, if you're not doing this in a relationship, just change the verbiage to fit whatever you're working on. The idea is to write everything that you have in you until nothing is left. So to be honest, my positives list was hella long. I mean, it was truly easy for me. But what most surprised me was the second part 2, when I was getting clear on my negative beliefs, because while I only hit on 3 points, I wasn't even truly conscious of those beliefs and how deeply they impacted me. Okay, so clearly part 2 is then outlining your negative beliefs, but part 2 has 4 steps within it. So number 1, you're going to write out all of your negative beliefs. I believe a man, woman, blank, or I believe money, whatever. Right? Step 2, you're going to attach a feeling to each of those beliefs. Because I believe blank, it makes me feel blank. Step 3, rewrite the belief as a positive belief and then turn it back into self. I believe blank, and because blank, I blank. Step 4 is very similar to step 3, but now we're rewriting the belief as a positive and turning it back into the man or woman or, whatever you're working on. So I believe the man I love will blank. So the core idea here is we're taking a negative belief, we are attaching a feeling to it, then we're rewriting it as a positive belief, right? Now, to make this all just a little bit more understandable, able for you to grasp, I'm going to do something I thought I would never do, to be real. I'm going to give you an example straight up out of my journal. My journal is a sacred place, so this is a huge step for me and a level of vulnerability that I didn't think I could actually reach. I'm sharing this with you to, of course, help you get the idea of the exercise, a better idea of it, but also, I'm human. I struggle, I have fears, I have triggers. Sometimes I think I have worked through things as deep as I think I could go just for another layer to be exposed. So here it is, straight up out of my journal. Step 1, outline the negative belief. I believe a man will cheat or leave me when I am no longer enough for him. I believe being quote unquote not enough is classified as fit enough, smart enough, useful enough, pretty enough, young enough, sexy enough, good enough, worth enough. Also, as a side note, I had to do a whole separate assignment on breaking down each part of my enoughness, but that's a different lesson for a different day. So that was my step 1. Step 2 was attach a feeling to it. Because I believe a man will cheat or leave, I tend to be protective and defensive when it comes to allowing a man to have all of me. Step 3, rewrite it as a positive belief, but turn it back to yourself. I believe I am worthy, and because I love myself so fiercely, I will always be enough. And lastly, step 4 was to rewrite that positive belief and turn it back to the man. I believe the man I love will see me as an extension of himself and will choose faith and loyalty over deception and abandonment. So really, this exercise actually showed me that I have abandonment issues. This was a huge eye-opening part of my self-awareness journey because it led me to realize how I react in situations when I feel or fear abandonment. It's also shown me how I guard myself, how I limit myself, and how I protect myself. I know I mentioned that I did a separate assignment on breaking down each part of the enoughness, but I also took this exercise deeper and reflected on the experiences or contributing factors that had led me to fuel those negative beliefs. This exercise, seriously, is simple and life-changing. I hope you're able to use it to get clear on your limiting beliefs. Remember that you can shift and mold this exercise to fit any area of your life. I will be sure to outline this exercise on this week's episode notes. As we navigate the next half of 2020, I encourage you to keep going within. Keep doing that inner work. Baby steps often don't feel big enough, but you'd never dare tell a baby that. All steps have a purpose. Keep taking them one at a time. You can do this. I believe in you. If you need more aid with this exercise or maybe some more life guidance, you can work with me one-on-one. We take it an hour at a time, and we just focus on what areas of life feel the heaviest or need more attention. More information about my one-on-one sessions can be found both on my personal site, laurensmithbiz, that's biz.com, and also on spiritually-seeking.com. If you enjoyed this episode or if it resonated with you on some level, or maybe you know a friend who could use this exercise, I encourage you to share it. If you share it on social media, be sure to tag me in it. I'm everywhere at MindBizLife. Don't forget to join me on Friday for a new episode of Fuel Your Life Friday. Until then, remember, every level of life is an opportunity to grow. Be well, my friend.